Hello. Welcome to our next chapter, that is set off and carry forward. Now, they will not specifically ask you something, but a part of this might they will include in your calculation of total income or any PGBP sum. So, therefore, you need to know what is allowed to be set off, how much, and what is not. Okay. So, starting with your first part, that is your salary. So, we'll go with heads of income. So, first is your salary. So, I put every head of income in a different color. So, that is your salary. So, there is loss from salary. So let's understand the table. First is in the year of loss, that is, if the loss has happened in the same year, then whether inter-source adjustment and inter-head adjustment. What does inter-source means? That means within salary only, if you are having any other source of salary also, that is your inter-source. And your inter-head means salary with any other head of income. So there are five heads of income. That is your salary, your house property, your PGBP, capital gain, and IFOA. That is your income from other sources. So there are five heads. So inter-source adjustments means within salary. Inter-head adjustments means salary with any other head. This is in the year of loss. Okay, and next part is your in subsequent years. That means if you have carry forwarded any loss, so in subsequent years, how do you do? Great. So you've understood the table, and for how many years can you carry forward? For how many years can you carry forward this? So loss from salary, inter-source. So first you have to understand that salary, there is no possible case of loss. You can never have loss in salary because you will be earning income, and there are deductions. You will never have loss in this. So therefore all of these are not possible. Great. So salary is clear. We are done with one head of income. Woohoo. Okay. Your second is your house property, that is HP. IFHP, that you call income from house property. So inter-source adjustment is allowed. That means loss from one house property can be set off against income from another house property. Therefore, this is a tick mark. And inter-head adjustment, that means loss from a house property can be said can be set off against any other head only and only up to INR 2 lakhs. Any head only and only up to INR rupees 2 lakhs. In subsequent year, that means once you have carried forwarded this loss, if you are not able to set off this loss in the current year, once you have carried forwarded, this loss can only be set off against your IFHP. That means it can only be set off against IFHP. For how many years, sir? For how many years can I carry forward this? You can carry forward this for 8 years. Okay. So for 8 years, future years only against IFHP. In the current year, if it is loss, inter source so it's properly okay. Inter head only up to rupees 2 lakhs you can set off. So we are done with IFHP also. Now third is your PGBP. So your PGBP, PGBP are divided into your four parts. One is your normal business, speculative business, specified business. These specified businesses where you get full deduction and unabsorbed depreciation. So if you remember, there are these 14 businesses which have been specified. So under for normal business, inter within separate businesses, you will be allowed to set off. That is, your inter source adjustment is allowed. Your inter head adjustment is allowed, but business loss cannot be set off. Cannot be set off against salary. That means it can be set off against any other head except salary. Got it? So your salary is gone. Since it is interhead, so of course it cannot be PGBP also. So what are you left with? You are left with house property, capital gains, and EFOS. Okay. So next is when you have carry forwarded in the future years, it is only allowed against normal business gain. Okay. So normal business loss can only be set off against normal business gain for a period of 8 years. Okay. Now your speculative business loss can be set off against speculative business only. Okay. So in the current year also only against speculative business, and next year it cannot be. That means there is sorry, not next year. In the interhead adjustments, it is not allowed. That means only and only against speculative business, otherwise with no head. And you can carry forward it for 4 years. And in 4 years, which what will you set it off against? Only against speculative business gain. Okay. Next is your specified business. Specified business can be set off against specified business gain. Any other head not allowed, and only against your specified business gain for an infinity amount of years. There is no limit on the number of years. And your unabsorbed depreciation, Same head also allowed, different head also allowed, but salary is not allowed. Over here also, future years also, carry forward, it will be allowed except against salary, and over here also this is infinite year. That means there is no limit. Now coming to your capital gains, that is your long-term capital loss. Long-term capital loss can be set off against long-term capital gain only. So if you are playing long, if there is long can be set off only against long, because short can be set off against both short and long, both of them. Understood. So long-term capital loss can only be set off against long-term capital gain, cannot be set off against any other income, and in the future years also against LTCG only for a period of 8 years. The rest everything is same for both of these. Over here also it is STCG, LTCG, both. Okay, so your short-term capital loss can be set off against short-term capital gain and long-term capital gain both. Now coming to your fifth part, that is your IFOS. Your IFOS is owning and maintaining horses. So owning and maintaining horses, if you have any loss, you can only and only set off against gain, against income from horses. Of course, from any other head, we will not allow you. And in the future years also, it will only be against horses for a period of 4 years. How do you remember? Horses have 4 legs. So 4 legs means 4 years. And any other loss you are allowed to set off from any interhead that is within the same thing. In the future also you can set it off against other heads. However, carry forward is not allowed, therefore it becomes not applicable. And return must be filed on time to claim carry forward loss, except loss from house property and unabsorbed depreciation. What does this mean? That is your house property and unabsorbed depreciation. For these two, these will still be allowed. You will still be allowed to take losses of these if you do not file return on time. That means if you don't file return on time, all your other losses will not be allowed. So therefore return must be filed on time to claim carry forward loss, except your house property and your unabsorbed depreciation. That means even if you don't file return on time, you will still be allowed to carry forward loss on these. And carry forward loss of closely held companies. Closely held companies are those that are not listed. So closely held companies allowed, your carry forward will be allowed if 51% shareholders at the time of the original loss are still shareholders. That means when the loss was actually occurred, when the loss actually took place, 51% shareholders of that time are still my shareholders, then we will allow you to carry forward this loss. Otherwise, we will not allow you. And with this, we are done with this chapter, and I will see you in the next chapter, that is agriculture income.